Good morning and welcome. You've found a live stream, Fight CPS, with your host, Bob Pace, and hang on to your children. Yes, you heard me right. Fighting CPS. Many of you have been fighting CPS for a long time. Some of you have been on my show regularly, but a lot of you are new to this. And just the name CPS will send fear and trauma into you because of the horrible experiences that some of you have experienced in what I call the rogue child protection systems out there. Now, I too was a victim of CPS. I was wrongly accused, and my children were trafficked and kidnapped and alienated from the family. It was a horrible experience to go through. Very horrible. I'm so angered by it. I've been fighting CPS now for 15 years. And this live stream, you found me on Facebook, Fight CPS with Bob Pace. I also have a second live stream in the evenings, and that is called Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. Now, these two live streams are on twice a day, 7 days a week. I've been doing this since October 2023. That's over 19 months. And I've talked to over 1,700 people from all walks of life and from around the world. Yes, CPS is found to be a problem in other countries. In fact, I've talked to 23 countries, including the U.S. And they all have something that I had in common. We were having financial hardships when my case started. And I think a lot of you experience the same thing. You should never be penalized because you're low income or because of your race or color. It seems like Black people are more picked upon by at least 50%. The Native American Indians have not been picked upon. They're just ignored and trampled on. They've been 100% that their Indian children have been taken from them and never to once again be reunified with their parents. That actually didn't start to 1978 with the passage of the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act. And that's something that I can talk to you guys about. Now, a lot of you are faced with the fact, the hard part is that you don't have the financial means to get an attorney. And this particular agency requires an attorney to fight them. You're fighting CPS like you're doing open heart surgery. It's very complex. They lie, they cheat, and they will retaliate. They have no accountability, no one watchdogging them. And instead of helping families, they tear them apart. They take children immediately, even if they're not in danger. My 3 children were taken, and they weren't in danger. And the CPS system that I was caught up on was very, very bad. And I had to go to the top dog and got nowhere. I mean, I went to all the way. It wasn't until I hired an attorney that I got somewhere. And you have to get that right kind of attorney. That's what's hard. And I'm here trying to help you, to reinforce you that not to give up hope, to still try to get your children back. I care about every one of you. And I've been doing this, as I say, 14 times a week, twice a day. I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and again on Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. Then on the evenings, I'm on at 7 p.m. all 7 days of the week. They're 1 hour live stream, and the time is the West Coast of California, Pacific Standard Time. I'm broadcasting from Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the ocean. And I am, unfortunately, my case started in 2010 when I had lost my job after working for 45 years. I had recently bought a new home in 2010, my forever home. It was actually, I've been there, I bought it in 2004, so 6 years later, my problems with CPS surfaced. And it's a horrible thing when they get involved because they can lie and cheat, and they are not very kind to you. Now, I have a lot of you that are regulars that come into my room, And I'm great to see you. They call this room like a family, which is always good. Now, I have several ways that you can participate. This is a participating live stream, meaning I want you to participate. One of the ways you can is to whoops, I forgot that one. Need to go. Well, we can talk about that one. Is to be on my live stream, meaning you can be a guest and talk with me, and I can take 9 of you. All you would do is write my show producer. Her name is Grace at vincentwdavis.com with the date and time you want to be on our show. Now, being on our show is great because, as I say, I can take 9 of you with me, makes 10, and we all can be talking to help one another. So it is a good thing. I know you're in this room to listen. It's fine. You don't have to be a guest. I love emojis such as smiley faces and hearts and thumbs up. Even the stars are nice. Please check below to follow me and write reviews. And then if you want to be notified when I'm on, check the notification box, and that would be great. Now, again, it's a warm welcome. Relax. Be very comfortable here. I don't ask too much of my people in this room except to respect one another, respect me, and we're all here for a common goal of help one another, fight CPS, and get your children back, or keep your children from them taking them, because it is a horrible experience once they take your children. It's the most horrible experience I've ever felt in my life. Very horrible. Now, another way, besides being a guest, is that you could text a comment or a question, a message from you to me, and I can try to answer it. Now, I'm not an attorney, but I'm a man that knows a lot about CPS, a loving father. I've been married for 42 years. I have a lot of marriage experience, a lot of life skills, and I'm here to take care of and help you. I've helped raise 6 children, and I know a lot about CPS. I know the mistakes I made, and I've made 5 rules that I never would do that again if I ever got caught. Now, my CPS matter started in the summer of 2010. Unfortunately, I lost my job, and I've been working for 45 years through no fault of my own. Losing a job at age 60 is hard. Finding work at age 60 is really hard, but also dealing with CPS on top of that is really especially hard. I had no hiccups or anything involving the child protection system before 2010. I did not know they existed. But what I've learned now, I'd like to share with you that they're not an agency to be trusted. Not all CPS is bad, but the one that I got involved in, the Orange County Child Protection Service in California, was awful. They're bad from the director all the way down. The social worker committed perjury. My attorney that I'd hired, Vincent Davis, caught her lying. And I wanted to do a lawsuit against her, a civil lawsuit. And she retaliated. It was so bad that she retaliated. Now I'm here telling you about what you can do in this room and so forth. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about too before I talk about anything else, is that let me put my phone number up here. Whoops, it's the wrong phone number. That's Vincent's phone number. Okay, we'll try this again here. Okay, to call in and talk to me at 626-698-0990. Now, I will talk to you during my show times, which I've just told you. And you can be a live guest on my show talking. And I also make phone calls to help people that want to hire Mr. Davis. If you call between the hours of 8 and 10, And from 11 to 1, I'll help you with answers about how to hire Mr. Davis and how to get him aboard as your attorney. Now, you hear me mention Mr. Davis. He is the lawyer that created this live stream, that started this, and I've been helping him out. He was my attorney I had hired to get my family back together. Now, 3 of my kids were stolen and trafficked into foster care. The other 3, luckily, were out on their own. They have their own families to contend with, and CPS was leave them alone. But, it's really interesting how you could raise 3 kids and have them do productive lives, and then your next 3 kids, you're supposedly bad parents. And at 60, it's probably because I know too much, but they want to make a federal case of it, and they just slammed everything at me right and left. And they lied. I never seen anybody lie so much as a government entity did. And I'm hoping that they're being investigated because they're part of social services, and the Department of Government Efficiency is investigating government entities for wasteful spending. Because for too long, people have been getting money when they don't supposed to get money, and that they're at home and do nothing for their job, and they get paid, and it goes on and on. And so they're going to find out a lot of things. And a lot of people hate changes in rulemaking. But it's got to be done because our government every couple months has to balance its budget, so it has money to pay for the Social Security and for the military. It's sad when they can't come up with the funds, and there's threats to the military that, by the way, you're not going to get a check, and meanwhile, you're not going to feed your family, or you're not going to buy your family something. So that's a hard thing to be defending your country and that being in place. Now, I'll leave my number up there, but I have another number, 888-888-6582, and that number is the law office of Vincent W. Davis. There you can get him as an attorney to defend you, or other attorneys for other legal matters, whether it's, something that happened in the workplace, a divorce, or immigration, or real estate matters, something there, a legal thing that they can help you out with. Also, you can talk to Vincent Davis, 888-888-6582. You'll reach reception, and they can schedule you a time. And he'd be more than happy to defend you, especially in your case. And he does not only getting children back by the thousands, he also does civil lawsuits, both in state and federal court. He is a trial attorney. He can do trials. And his background is juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, which he's well trained in, and so forth. And he's really good. He really is. He has a good personality. He will help you. But this is offered to you. Also, if you make a phone call or you're on a guest on my live stream. And if you do so, you get a free 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis. A free 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis. And all you have to do is tell me, and I'll tell you how to be on my, to be as a private consultation with Mr. Davis. I'll set up the arrangements with my show producer, and I'll tell you what you need to send to me, and I'll verify to her that you're on my show. But that's another way that you can get a chance to talk to Mr. Davis for free. And you want to make a list of questions and prioritize them, and you want to ask him the questions, and he will help you out. He will help you out. It is a hard thing for me every day to talk to you guys about the same old drabby thing there. And I know it's important to every one of you. And thank you for the thumbs up, Debbie Richard. And again, I'm looking for my regulars to come in the room, and they're there. They're there. I know you guys are out there listening. Now, another thing, when you call in and talk to reception at 888-888-6582, you can ask about his latest guides. He has one that's for sale for $9.99 that I will give it to you half off if you use my name, Pace, Pace. That's all capital letters, and the number 50, and you get it for half off of $9.99. And that new guide is called the Grandparents Guide, Step by Step to Get Guardianship of Your Grandchildren. And that's just for grandparents, but it's also good for families and for other states. It's set for California, but I imagine work in other states. It's a step-by-step comprehensive guide to help grandparents get guardianship of their grandkids. So a lot of them do that, and so it's step by step. Now, another way to get that guide is I can give you an internet link to get that guide. To get the grandparents guide and of course other resources, you go to https://www.stand.store/attorney VWD. And you'll see it on the screen. As I say, you can get it for half price. All you need to do is use my discount code of capital PACE, all capital letters, and the number 50, and you can get it for half off. Now, another website that is his main website is his personal website, https://www.vincentwdavis.com. And there you can find about his law firm, about Vincent Davis. Now, he's been doing this practicing law for 39 years. He's a trial attorney. He's a professional and licensed in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. And those are the areas that you're going to be dealing with against the social workers, attorneys. But he's a real pit bull of a fighter, and he's been doing this for 39 years. Now, I do want to say that he's also a trial attorney, and he does lawsuits. He has sued CPS both in federal and civil court and won millions of dollars against fraud, against people, social workers that committed that have committed and violated your constitutional civil rights. In my case, we caught a social worker lying on the stand when she testified on oath, and so she committed a big major crime. The only trouble was is we're going to go after her, but she wanted to retaliate, so she went and took our sister, our daughter, at age 12, and put her into foster care, and without her brothers or anything. And then now, by calling in or being a guest, you can get a free 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis. It's a Zoom conference call, and it's free. All you have to do is come up with your questions and prioritize them and ask away. I don't know anybody that's offering that kind of a consultation, but you make a list of questions and you answer them. Make sure you prioritize them. And that's if you either call in as a guest or you call in to make a phone call and talk on the phone. That's just a little incentive to get you guys to participate more in this live podcast. Now, I have another way of getting more time with Vincent Davis. You can talk to him for 30 minutes for $60. All you have to do is go to the website, https:// www.candidly.com/apptsvwd/Bob Pace. You can book a 30-minute private Zoom consultation, pay with your credit card, and you'll speak to Mr. Davis. So there's many ways you can speak to Mr. Davis. You can talk to him for free for 15 minutes by calling in or being a guest. You can also pay $60 for a 30-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis. And I know that you'd be glad that you did. I know you'd be glad that you did. And let me put my phone number back up. It looks like we have some people that made comments in my room, which is good. All right. We have Little Nugget. Oh, so glad to hear from you, Little Nugget. Good morning. Now, Little Nugget, I always forget. Little Nugget, I forget where you are. I know where you are. I just sometimes, I don't know. Maybe my age is showing. I don't know. They think I'm too old and a dinosaur, but I still feel young and still want to help out people. But what's the latest, Little Nugget? What's the latest, Little Nugget? Here it is. Little Nugget's first name is Shallon, Shlllon, and her husband Michael. And they come on my show for a long time. Have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Davis? I know that I sent a request in and have a private one-on-one consultation for 15 minutes. I'd like to know how the conversation went and if it happened or not. Happy feet. I want to know if it did happen or not. Now, Happy Feet, I believe, is from Arizona. I think they're with an Indian tribe. Isn't that correct, Happy Feet? Did I get that right? Hopefully I did. Waiting for a response for Happy Feet. Um, anyway, I'd like to know how the conversation went with Happy Feet, how the conversation with Mr. Davis goes. I'm really curious to see what's happening. Also, do I have you figured out right that you're from Arizona and that you're a Native American Indian and you're trying to get your case turned over to the Indian court? Oh boy. Um, Little nugget. I don't know if you're hearing me or everybody's hearing me, but um, I like some comments from you, little nugget. How did it go with your phone call? Hello, Dorothy Cook from I think it's North Carolina. Thank you for the love, the heart emojis. Um, I still got a good 15 minutes for anybody that wants to talk on the phone. That's great. And um, now I have found lots of articles, and here's one that is from Ohio. It's a lawmaker who's aiming to reform the child welfare system amid deaths. Um, I guess Ohio lawmaker says there's been a lot of deaths um, of children, at least five of them, and it's in the early stages of draft bill aiming at reforming the welfare system. I think all welfare systems. Um, this person has been researching the issue for years and has been discussions with stakeholders about the current system. The urgency for a change has been underscored by the death of five children over the past 15 months, whose parents or caregivers are now facing charges. So now we're talking about the dark side of CPS, where it is true some bad parents caused the death of these five children. Um, This is a good point. Keeping the children safe and making families stronger for longer requires our entire community working together. But even though we have bad parents, we have also bad social workers. And the problem is we need to weed all the badness out. And it's sad because there's an article that I've been talking about that was published on the 13th of May that was written on the 12th by two renowned speakers. They're welfare social workers that have said that social workers are trying to build on fear into families and take away children because they parents are poor or low income. And it's sad because they need to offer support services. There's been statistics shown that over the 4.4 million people that have been reported child abuse or neglected or neglect, only half of them, 2.2 million, were found not to be a valid claim. And that was done by mandated reporters, not the lay people. Remember, there's two kinds of reporters: the mandated reporters, which are the health professionals and the teachers, the policemen and the firemen and so forth. Those are all mandated reporters, and they have to tell you if there is abuse or neglect, report it. But the studies have shown that can result in the 2019 study that's shown that over half of anybody they reported, there was no validity to the truth. Now it gets worse, sir, with the lay people. The lay people, it's almost 100% it isn't true. For every time they report, it's usually retaliation. When a family member wants to get more out of another family or take advantage of the situation, such as a settlement of inheritance or something. It's sad how family members work terrible to make our children. And it makes it rough in social services. It's important that we do maintain true child abuse and true neglect. It's something that 50% of the time there's black families are being reported, and it's 100% Indian families, and it's sad because that's wrong. That's wrong. Michigan's taking a closer look at the child welfare system, and that is good to hear. Um, and even the worldwide group called UNICEF is looking at. We need to really strengthen the support service to children. We really need to do that, and UNICEF is trying to do that with feeding the children. That's one of their goals, is to make sure that people are fed. And so that's the greatest need, is food. And they were talking about cases in Vietnam and so forth. So this is a worldwide epidemic. You know, I've as I said earlier in my show, I've talked to all these people, all 50 states, and including Washington D.C. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Australia seems still having a hard problem too. There's an article dated May 19th where that more than 100 serious young repeat offenders living in Queensland state, they're becoming hard young criminals. So it's sad. It's sad. They're looking into the state called Queensland in Australia, and there's a high abusing rate. High abusing rate. Indonesia has issues too. They want to institute electronic system in child protection and the labor laws. They're so bad in there. So Indonesia is close to Australia. So um, it's amazing the articles that are coming in there. Afghanistan, child protection responsibility. Um, this is a worldwide epidemic to have a good protective system, really protected children, but also have a good system that is fair to children and so forth. Here's in Clark County, more on Indonesia. I'm just going through the world with news of CPS. Canada is looking at things too. It's a worldwide problem. It's in California. They passed a Senate bill that make it a felony for adults to solicitate sex from 16-year-old. That is horrible that they have to make a law. I mean, that should be wrong. Why would adults want child sex 16 and 17-year-olds? That's terrible. But then there's the other case where um, it's sad to say where the children are being where they're being abused by the people that are supposed to protect them. The people that are supposed to protect them. There's one in Virginia and Nevada. Um, anyway, I'm sorry, Dorothy. I've been missing your messages here. I wish there was a bell that would ring that I'd see there. Sometimes I get caught up. We haven't heard from Little Nugget from the questions I asked her, but I hope she's okay. Dorothy Cook, who's been in my room regularly, she says, "Good evening." Well, Dorothy, it's not evening where I'm at. It's still the morning, and I think you're in North Carolina. It's not evening either. I did some research and found out that when CPS social service was first put in back in place in the 1800s, that they actually helped the family stay together, but then people of color was considered as property, not human beings. And then they were added on as humans. The system helped provide to keep the family intact was changed to male had to be in the home to get assistance. Have you ever heard of that before? No, I didn't. And thank you for sharing that. Um, not much is written from the 1600s forward. Now, there's three time periods that they talk about child welfare from the 1600s to 1875. And why they pick 1875 was two things. In 1875, the societies were getting formed and started to protect children. Also in 75, the American Native Indians, the first immigrants to the United States, were rounded up and put on reservations. Their children were hauled away, never to be seen again, and put into strict education schools, and their hair cut, their Indian ways lost, their language lost, their culture lost. Sad. And it took another 100 years till they formed the 1978 ICWA Act, the Indian Child Welfare Act. The second time period goes from 1875 to 1962, when the government did form a CPS entity of social workers. They contacted the social service and demand them to create a CPS service to protect our children from neglect and abuse. But they didn't have any laws or enforce those laws to 1974. And then in 1994, President Clinton signed into law the Incentive Act, which basically rewarded child protection systems $35,000 per child that is adopted into foster care, and trying to wipe out family reunification, which should not be wiped out. It's very important as family reunification is. So, thank you, Dorothy, for sharing that bit of historical hindsight. Yes, the black people were considered property. It wasn't until the Civil War when the emancipation of blacks, but it didn't happen to the 1900s when like even women got the right to vote and blacks got the right to vote, and it's sad. It is the whole tragedy of things. Now, Dorothy says that's the truth. The badness needed to remove and replace with better, not worse, or replacements. But anyway, thank you for sharing me that, Dorothy Cook. And again, little nugget, I'd like to hear from you. I've asked you a question or not. Now, I have about 14 minutes before my show will end, or actually 11 minutes before my show will end. I have to quit at 11 o'clock and get back to my other job of calling people and getting them to hire Mr. Davis. Now, as I was talking about this article about how CPS puts fear into families and tries to penalize families that are poor or broken, and that is wrong. That is totally wrong. Now, here's an article here where a mom hid a child in the bush because she was tired of dealing with the cops and CPS. Now, a mom in West Virginia ran and hid from Child Protection Services during a welfare check, according to a criminal complaint. In Colden, West Virginia, a mom in West Virginia ran and hid from Child Protection Services during a welfare check, according to a criminal complaint. Documents say when deputies and CPS workers arrived at Brittany Val's home in Colden on Friday, no one answered the door. Officials walked around the back of the home and heard a child crying in the bushes nearby. When asked why she ran into the woods with the child, Vanny reported she was tired of dealing with the cops and CPS. According to the criminal complaint, flies were seen in the home, which officials described as unlivable with extreme odor of fecal matter and urine. According to officials, dry fecal matter was found on the children's face, neck, and legs. The child's shorts also appeared to be stained with urine. Vadane was also covered in filth, deputies report. Vadane was arrested for child neglect, creating risk of injury and resulting in injury. Well, that sounds like a good reason to arrest it. That sounds a good case. The reason why I'm sharing that, it seems like most of the time it's somebody else that's poor or homeless or beyond their control about something. So
fun. It's better.
Well, that was a sad one. That was definitely a sad one. Your longtime family friends. It's such a sad that you know. Wow. I still think families and children do the best with the biological family. They are the best, and we should be offering more to them. We should be offering more to them. It didn't say about, yeah, it's good afternoon, Dorothy. It's 1:59 p.m. So we call that a good afternoon. But it's not good evening, but it could be, I guess, maybe in certain circles there. But anyway, I have about, it's time. It's time to end my live podcast. It's 11 o'clock. And I want to thank you all for coming in there. I know we didn't really talk too much. Not too many people asked questions or things. Hopefully tonight you all can come back and ask some questions. A little nugget, I want to hear how your talk with Mr. Davis went. And I want to hear more, Dorothy Cook, about your case and how I can help you. I know you've talked to me on the show and you've been really beautiful. And I miss all the people I haven't seen this morning. I miss my friend from South Africa, Leica, and Margaret, and Felicia that comes on, Cruel. I miss a lot of you that have become part of my show, Betty Joe, and even Faye Manley, who's from Kentucky. I haven't heard from her in a long time. But anyway, I'm glad that you come here. Again, I'll be here tonight, as I had not missed a day yet. I've been here twice a day, 14 times a week. So I want you all to keep fighting for your families, fighting for your kids. Say no to social workers and do not talk to them. Don't let them take your children. Get yourself an attorney and make your life so much better. And do a lot of research on the internet. So don't give up your children. Hang in there. God bless you all. And again, thank you, Dorothy Cook, for your emojis and for texting a message. Thank you, Little Nugget, too, for yours, too. And again, thank you all my other listeners out there. There's a half a dozen of you in there. And I do want to help you. So get your questions up. And tonight I will help you. So I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. God bless you. And this is Bob Pace.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.